up from the Independent UK is Matt Paddock.
Hey, Matt.
Good evening, Paul. Thanks for the time. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Yeah, not too bad at all, thank you. Not too bad. I just wanted to look ahead to NXT TakeOver with you and just sort of NXT more broadly, really. I was just thinking if you could take the process back almost 25 years, really, with your Triple H head on at the start of your career and keep your current head on at the same time in amongst that and sort of pitch a program, if you like, for a young Triple H entering into the NXT setup. The talent is so varied with these young guys at the moment and what they're capable of doing in and out of the ring. How would you like a young Triple H at the start of his career to sort of fit in with that NXT journey? Because there's so much available for these young guys now.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say, there's so many guys that are talented, women as well that are talented, and there's a lot of opportunities. They're all at various levels, and some have been in the business for a long time. Doesn't necessarily mean they're more ready. It means they have more experience, contrary to some beliefs. Length of time does not, it just means you're more comfortable sometimes because you've been doing it, but sometimes those habits become harder to break, bad habits or whatever. The opportunities there, I look at everything from that fresh slate of, that's how I develop the performance center. What if I was walking in the door today, what would I want? What would I need? What would I want somebody to put in front of me to be able to succeed? What would be the things that would make it easier for me? The other thing is when you're in developmental, and again, whether it's somebody that's been in the business for 15 years or 5 days, you put opportunities in front of them, and then what they do with that opportunity is up to them and their skill level. Sometimes you put people on live events and they excel, and then you put them in a dark match at TV and they do all right. So then you hold them off a little bit, or you put them on and it's for real and you're recording it for something and you see how they do and it does okay, but it's not everything it could be, and so you wait, right? It's a waiting game at that level and kind of trying to constantly gauge where people are, what they're ready for, and then not only who they get in the ring with and who they work with, but who can then help them get to another level. If you're just putting in there, two talent that don't necessarily, that are still trying to figure it out for themselves, it's a lot more difficult than maybe somebody who excels a little bit more at this, working with somebody who's a little greener that can help them kind of morph and get over that hump and really get them onto something. It's how we look at pairing people together. Sometimes we have a talent that doesn't have a lot of charisma, so we pair them with somebody that does in a team in hopes that one brings it out of the other one, and all those things. It's a giant puzzle. You have to look at where all the pieces fit.
That's great, thanks. I just wanted to switch gears ever so quickly just with regards to the Mae Young Classic, obviously, which is causing a lot of excitement. WWE as a platform, if you like, has done more for women in wrestling than I can remember over the last couple of years than many companies for many, many years. Is it the case for you that you think that not just WWE but wrestling in general could have done this a little bit sooner for girls and for ladies, or is it just the case that in terms of ingredients and in terms of technology and assets, is it just the right time now for these girls to be taking it to the right level?
Yeah, I think it's the right time. Look, could they have done it? I don't know. I mean, you can debate that all day. Could we have done this 5 years ago? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure what people were willing to accept. I think you see that in a lot of sports. You see that in a lot of entertainment components. All of a sudden you see, Wonder Woman movies coming out and women superheroes, and the women are even if it's not a female superhero movie, the woman ends up being the hero in the end. You see a lot of that in entertainment right now. I think that's the acceptability of it to, I guess, the general populace in some way, I guess. I don't know. I've thought it for a long time. All I know is the time is right, and the more we seem to be doing it and the more we seem to be giving it to people, the more they seem to be asking for and the more excited they are by it. And I can tell you right now, when we started out with the Mae Young Classic, which is the concept of it, which obviously at the time wasn't called the Mae Young Classic, but when we started out with the concept of it, I pitched it, took a while to get accepted. The thought was, I'll probably do this with 16 women and try to make it very elite, right, and upper deck, and as we started to dig and watch more footage and watch more stuff on people and really dig into it, we started realizing, wow, there's a lot more women. Like, I can make this much bigger. I can do this with 32 and have it be really solid quality and all that. So then, we decided to do it, and I was really excited about it. We picked the 32, and quite honestly, there was a lot more out there that I thought it was hard to make the decisions of who should go in this and who shouldn't go in this. And, but we get to the tournament, and I expected this to be really good. I did. And I was blown away by it. We got to the end, and Shawn was there, Shawn Michaels was there, and Shawn was like, he's like, oh, dude, I'm speechless. Like, when that thing was over the second day, there was a lot of people there that worked with us behind the scenes, from my tech people and all that stuff, that when it was over said, I think that was better than the Cruiserweight tournament. It really, I'm telling you, I'm really excited about this. I'm really excited about this to come out. I'm really excited about the opportunity. I said it then, and to me it bears repeating. These are all women that got into the business for the same reasons I did, and probably everybody else did, is they, at some point in time early in their life, they saw this, thought it was the greatest thing they'd ever seen from an entertainment standpoint, thought, I got to do this, right, and then ended up down that road. And I think for a lot of these women, it was the same thing. Whatever they saw, however it was, they thought, man, I have to do this. Except for the guys, there's always like this pot of gold at the end of the rainbow of opportunity, and whether that be WWE or, but there's just this big pot of gold at the end where you can be successful, and it can be life-altering, and it can be all these things. Didn't exist for the women. They got on that rainbow and rode it and took that journey with no pot of gold at the end. They just went for the ride and thought it was the greatest thing ever and had to do it, but there wasn't a whole lot in it for them. And to be honest, even when they were going to these indie shows, it was hard for us to find footage on some of these women, as good as they are, to find meaningful footage of them, because they'd worked a show here and they were a valet because there wasn't another woman working with them on the show, or there was a match here or a match there. Right? The opportunities were very, very few and far between and limited. And look, I'm thrilled to be able to say that now you jump on that journey if this is what you want to do. And for a lot of those girls that are in this right now, there's a lot of little girls that are going to sit out there and they're going to watch this and go, I got to do this. And they're going to know now that there's a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow for them, and that opportunity is there in a different way than it's ever existed before. To me, that's the coolest part of that. And we put that responsibility on these girls that are in this tournament and that opportunity, and they killed it. They knocked it out of the park. So I'm excited to show this to the world. I'm really, this is one that I think at the end of it I'm really going to be proud of all the girls that were in it for sure. I can't wait for the world to see it.
Thanks very much for your time.